Hello guys, and welcome back to part 2 of EL versus SPQR. My name's Kron, and with me is, again, the one, the only, the unmistakable Roachy. Roachy, how are you tonight?
G'day, Kron. How you going?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well.
That's the way. The biggest question I've got is, were you able to sleep last night after what we witnessed?
Not after the game of the century, of course I wasn't.
That-
After the last game with Lube, fighting, losing a City, fighting all game, and then rescuing the pocket player's City, his cap. I've never seen anything like it.
Man, that was definitely an insane game. So, guys, just in case you are tuning in and you didn't catch the action yesterday, just be aware that this is part 2. We've already played part 1. I won't say the score just yet. So, if you do want to stay unspoiled, just unfortunately you may have to stop watching right now because you'll quickly find out. But you can go back and watch that video on YouTube. It's basically the same video title except part 1. But yeah, really good series. The first 3 games have been casted. And we'll start off from game number 4. Remember, it's a best of 7, so basically the first team that gets to 4 games will win. So that's it for a spoiler-free zone. From here on, we're going to talk spoilers, so make sure you be aware of that. I'd just like to also give a quick shout-out to everyone who's already tuning in right now. We've got 13 people live. One thing I can ask is if you can just share the word amongst your friends on Steam, just to let them know, just in case they would want to watch this live and they're just not aware that we're broadcasting right now. That would be good. Maybe share the link on Discord too if someone can help us out with that. That would be great. And Roachy, what's your thoughts as far as what the players' mindsets are going to be like going into this 4th game after that epic 3rd series we saw?
Well, I was having a chat to Hockey Star today, and he came up with some really good points. One of the things he said, look, SPQR has not used Lakota yet. And the longer you wait, in a sense, the stronger Lakota is, because Lakota tends to be stronger and stronger against slow nations. So Iroquois is gone, Bantu is gone. So Lakota is going to be a little bit more unopposed. And Iroquois can raid them to death, obviously, like Jatton did to Dave in game 1. So SPQR is Lakota up its sleeve, and that says to me almost they're going to dominate that game. That's what I'm hoping for here. So if it's spoiler free, so. As I predicted
No,
at the start,
you can spoil
SPQR will
now.
win.
We can spoil. So the
Yeah,
score is 2-1 to EL. So
yeah.
this is definitely spoiler zone. So you can talk about the results now. But yeah, what did you think? So basically the mindset of SPQR is that yes, they're down, but they still have some trumps up their sleeve. They've still got Lakota and probably a bunch of other good nations too. But they have used Dutch
Yeah,
and Iroquois. So it's going to be interesting.
but if you say the Lakota game is theirs, then really it's 2-2. That's what I'm trying to argue here. Given that I predicted
Yeah.
SPQR will knock the champs off, that SPQR will beat the champs. I'm trying to look on the positive side here.
That is true. I mean, it's hard to be positive when you're facing EL. That's that's definitely for sure. And I'll just quick shout out anyone that's in the chat. Please say whatever you want in the chat, and you will likely get a shout out from us. So if you want to be part of YouTube history right now, make sure you're involved in the chat. We've got Ian, aka Sermon, we've got Ramsey, Peter Pan. We've also got Spaghetti Monster, MK. Hello guys, what's up? We've got Ramsey saying, Kron, go to bed. It's actually 9:30 here, Ramsey, so it's actually not that late. I don't know what time you go to bed, but if you're still going to bed at 8 p.m., I'd be a bit concerned for you. Peter, hello. Where are you guys? Where are you guys around the world right now? Where are you from, Spaghetti, as well? I haven't heard of you, Spaghetti, so I suspect you're probably Dave Smurf or Peter's from Netherlands, so that's awesome. I think it's about early afternoon in the Netherlands right now, or is it late morning? One of the two. Oh, we have Serge. We have Serge in the house. Tudor Serge. Haven't heard from you in a while, Serge. How are you doing? Okay, Spaghetti's new. Well, welcome, Spaghetti. Great to have you part of the community. And if you're enjoying it, make sure you share it with all of your friends who play other games like League of Legends, Fortnite, any of that stuff that's boring. Rise of Nations where it's at. All right. Sweet. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to kick it off. Just one last thing is just a reminder, if you do want to donate, there's still an opportunity to do so. 100% of the proceeds will go to the prize pool. We already have some really good donations that have come in. So just check the description link in this video right now. Just below in the description there, you'll be able to click that link and donate whatever your heart can desire to do so. Roachy, I believe you've donated. Is that correct?
That's correct, Kron.
You are a generous soul. Very generous. And I encourage everyone to be as generous as Roachy has been. Roachy, what was your logic behind donating? Just talk me through your mindset when you made that decision.
Well, I would pay over the years. I've played a lot in this game, got a lot of pleasure, and I would have paid that much and more to if you had to pay a license fee for the game, for example. So essentially, that's what I've done. I've basically said this game has given me that much pleasure, so bang.
Well, fair enough. Well, there you heard it, guys. If you've got pleasure over the years in any way, shape, or form from this game, you can repay that pleasure by donating right now. 100% of the proceeds will go to the winners. So thank you, Roachy, for setting a great example there. And
I also have a secondary motive.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
Yeah. I tell my wife that there's a prize pool, like in Nomadium. I said there's a $500 prize pool.
Yeah. Yep.
And she really likes money. So I tell her I'm trying to win the money for her. So it's a beautiful side story, That's what I do. I don't tell her I donate money into the prize pool. I don't tell her that bit. I just tell the second bit that there is a prize pool and I've got to win the money. So I'm saying, this is why I'm playing this game. I'm doing this for you.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. At the end of the day, if it's working, keep doing it and keep donating. So anyone out there with girlfriends, wives, boyfriends, surely there's lots of female followers, or whatever floats your boat. Make sure you donate so that you can tell them that you're competing in the tournament to win lots of money. So there you heard it. All right, guys, let's get this game started. I know you can't wait to see game number 4. So let's jump on in a moment. Roachy, are you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, guys, let us know as the game goes on in the chat. Make sure you let us know your thoughts and feelings as we go along. All right, we are loaded up in game number 4. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's do this. So this first map is it's not on Sahara. So here we go. It will be on a different map. So that is the first big surprise, because the first 3 games were all on Sahara, and we were starting to think that it might just be a Sahara-thon here. But no, it looks like the SPQR guys have chosen this one because they did lose the last game. So just a reminder, it is 2-1 to EL right now. And let's have a quick look at the nations that they've picked. So Prolays has gone with Americans. We've got Momo, aka Charlie Hebdo, with Chinese. And then we have Jatin as Lakota. Actually, I don't mind these picks. That's a pretty good mix. I mean, this map typically, let's just confirm, it is Old World. Is that correct, or is this Amazon? Roachy, can you fill me in here?
We can look at this somehow, can't we? Options? No.
Yeah, it is Amazon. Yeah, it is Amazon.
Okay.
And sometimes they look very similar, but yeah, there's plenty of trees on Amazon, whereas Old World can sometimes get different tile sets. So this is on Amazon here. Typically a map which, depending on where the rivers are, can be very turtley, or it can sometimes facilitate rushing as well. So let's have a quick look at EL as well. So we've got Egyptians here for Dave. We've got Nubians here for Lube. And then finally we have Turks here for Boo. So Turks will be definitely an X factor here, especially in Standard. They're not as strong as in Nomad. So for any Nomaders watching this, it's not quite as scary as you might think they are, but they're still a very strong nation. And again, like anything, it's going to come down to this early game being a lot of how many ruins that Lakota can scout, and also, I guess, where their second cities go and where the action is likely to develop in.
The rares look incredibly good for the EL guys.
It's actually, and I'm at the 2 minute mark now, and you can see that Momo's got 475 ruins so far, but Prolays is a bit behind in his ruin count, and everyone else is by and large, Boo and Dave are second in line there with decent ruins as well. So overall, I guess you would expect Lakota to have a lot more ruins than they do. Jatton's only got 200, while Momo's got 475. But
that's an odd choice, putting China where you can spam Villies and Scout and Lakota, picking them in the same match. That's an odd sort of combo. In my view, China's taking ruins from Lakota.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, there is an opening you can do in Standard where you basically spam unlimited citizens that you can afford at the very beginning and just send them all out immediately, and you can get a really fast start. Obviously, we can't really go back and rewind this to check if that's what Momo did or not, but based on his ruin count, I suspect he did scout with a lot of citizens there.
And it's unfortunate China's in the pocket. You really want them on the wing where they can border push a large city.
Yeah, very true. And Lakota is always nice to be way behind, nice and safe and protected, given that they are a nation which can build their cities wherever they want. And what do you think of Jatton's city placement here? Not too far out of the way, but also a little bit into the center.
That's a caravan raiding paradise.
That is,
if you're...
That,
got there.
Yeah, that's Dave.
Dave of his eggies is gonna come in with his chariots, maybe. I don't know. They've got really good ruins. You look at Luba's Nubians. The first time we've seen Nubian. Sorry, that really good rares here. I mean, cotton, diamond, papyrus.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And so let's just do a quick summary. They have Pappy behind. They have Silk as well. This is for EL. And looks like Tobacco should be defendable. Diamonds there. Looks like these diamonds should be, they should be able to keep that. And meanwhile, for SPQR, they haven't scouted Sugar. That's a big shame. Sugar is a great rare to have, especially in the early game when food is the most important resource. And really slim pickings. They don't have anything that I would say is a game-changing rare at this point until they can discover that Sugar. You could argue that Sugar is one of them that really helps. But yeah, so far I'd have to give the nod to EL here. If they can defend these rares, they should be in a fairly strong position.
Jatton is still on 200 ruins for Lakota. I mean, he's really going to struggle here. 4-minute mark or thereabouts. Charlie Hebdo's got 600, so...
Yeah, 700 now.
David's got 600. I mean, this is... I said Lakota would dominate, but this doesn't bode well for Lakota.
Yeah, I mean, Lakota is one of those nations that, you need to get a strong ruin count at the beginning to feed their food income, because otherwise their food is just really low. And look at Jatton's food income now. He's only just aging to age 2 now, and part of that is because he literally doesn't have enough food, and he's still only at 92, still needing to spam citizens just to get his food income up to 100. Once he can get some horses out, then you'll see his food start to rebound and get a lot stronger. But yeah, Lakota is a nation that Jatton's played a lot before, and I know he really likes them. We actually trained a bit, myself and Jatton, and Jatton's style is basically to spam citizens and then spam light horses as soon as he gets to age 2, and basically play a long game, get to age 4, and then attacking gunpowder. And he's even said to me that Lakota is generally their weakest in age 3. So let's just keep an eye out if that's the style that he brings to this game, or if he tries to go for something different.
Dave has gone Despo, so it's going to be a fight.
Yeah, you can see that Dave is already getting busy here. He's sending out this light camel, and he's just getting a good scout off here to see what Jatton is up to.
You know, he's building that tower. Look at Dave's tower placement. He's building a tower just to protect his caravan route just outside of Thebes. You know, the thing with raiding Dave, there's no soft targets, this guy. He just plays such a solid game, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That tower is, it's going to serve so much purpose. It basically means that his caravan's protected. And one thing that Dave has consistently said in private chats is that the most important thing, the biggest tip you can have if you want to improve your standard game, is it all comes down to caravans. Caravans, caravans, caravans. If you can protect your caravans and you can raid and kill your opponent's caravans, that's a massive, massive step to winning the game. So just keep that in mind for anyone who's considering playing standard or is fairly new to playing standard. Getting your caravan routes up and running and protecting them is probably the single most important thing you can do.
Just on the other side of the map there, we've got a Turkish 3 city. You don't often see that. And he's really gone up hard against the Americans here. So, and the Americans, they're gonna lose a wood camp. He's in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, you're so right. And what a move by Boo here. I didn't catch if he used this die or not to get his Civic 2, but I mean, it is standard, so tech is fairly cheap. And he has gone for that quick second city, nice and pushed up against Americans. And Americans aren't exactly known as one of the powerhouse nations in standard. They're not too bad, but they're certainly not one of the top tier nations like they are in Nomad. And I get the feeling that this is really not boding well for Proles here, because as everyone who's watching this surely knows, the Turk siege weapons can attack with +2 range, and basically all of these buildings will be within range. So that university, gone. That stable, gone. Probably that temple, gone. He can basically siege everything he wants to if he decides to spam a siege factory, which is exactly what he is doing right now.
Look at China's 3rd city. He's made a good play, I think, in the middle there. He can really dominate things there. They can isolate Dave, perhaps.
Yeah, certainly. I really like that position from Momo. Look at this map. I mean, the map doesn't tell everything, but it certainly strikes fear into your opponent's heart sometimes. And it does get the feeling that SPQR have dominant map control, and a large part of that is because of that Lakota city and that Chinese city in the middle, really stamping their authority and protecting those rares. That should help equalize the disadvantage they had as far as rares go.
Yeah, he spotted Diamond there, which is good. It's really up to Momo, I think, is the only one. Oh, they've got a tower on Diamond.
Yeah, those diamonds should be well protected. And you can see that Boo is doing exactly that and sieging down this stable right here. And there's nothing Proles can do about it. And I don't even fault Proles for his placement here. It's just one of those things where, unless you have really good forethought, you're probably not going to expect this situation to eventuate the way it has.
Oh, full credit to Boo. You don't often see a Turkish 3 city in standard.
Yeah, exactly right. And nice raids here by Proles. He is catching Boo's soft underbelly behind. And yeah, there's no towers there to protect that mine. So very nice microing away the hurt Cataphract there as well. But look at this. Already pressure being applied on Proles' front city. And Proles, for him, unfortunately, he has to respond to this. He can't just ignore it because he doesn't know for sure if this is in fact a full-on assault or if it's just, a siege from a distance just to provoke him.
Look, the EL guys are generally building much more scholars here. We've got Lube, who's up to 9 scholars.
Oh, and look at that. Forbidden City went down from Proles. That was an instant Forbidden City too. So I've never seen that much in Standard before, but I like it. His food and wood income have instantly boosted up, and they're getting close to 200 now. So let's have a quick look at Boo. I think we need to see what he is building. He is spamming units, and I don't think Boo is faking an attack here. I think he is definitely going to go for it. And in fairness to him, I think that's the right move here. If Momo does not help Proles here, I think he will lose the city. And he's going in. He is going in right now. And that city has been reduced. Boo is just prodding, just, sussing it out, checking it out. If he can fire down this, target down this lookout, that will help him if he does want to try and capture it, but wisely going back now because I believe that would be a very tough ask. Given that, he'd be fighting 2 opponents there. So he does retreat. Meanwhile, look at Lube's economy. Wow, that is a very, very strong eco for the 10-minute mark here. Especially that metal income, 184. Some really nice rares. silk, furs, diamonds, and obsidian there for Lube. And given that he is playing as Nubians, he's obviously getting a big bonus. Oh, nice raid there by Prolays. He does get the Pappy, so that is a huge moment there as far as raiding goes. Oh, and look at Dave. Dave starts to get scary. Once he gets like 6 or 7 cavalry and like 4 crossbowmen, that's a strong army. And it's hard to repel that. I think Jatton just needs to sit back, chill for a bit, and just use this river as much as he can to his advantage. Because thankfully for him, the river is actually in a pretty good position. It's annoying enough to make it a little bit difficult for Dave. He has to kind of stay on this western side of that bank and attack directly on. He can't really spread out the way he'd want to. Jatton does have his heavy infantry garrisoned in his city of Mankato, so he should have enough units to hold this. I think their armies are relatively similar in size. Maybe Dave has a slight advantage here. Certainly Jatton would be getting nervous. Actually, Dave having a much bigger army, according to the military graph. So this could be an opportunity, and Jatton does need to spam units to survive this. Their ecos are fairly steady, aside from Dave having a much better wealth income. I think Jatton should be okay here with the defender's advantage though.
Momo's getting up near 14 scholars. If they're going to win this game, Momo's got to come through here.
Yeah, look at that eco from Momo. He is also booming extremely well. Both Lube and Momo look like they're going for a massive boom. And look at this, Dave is going in here, and he does see that there are 2 players. He does capture the city though, and that resets all of the caravans for Jatton. Regardless of whether he holds this city or not, the damage has been done already. And then the case now will be whether Dave wants to carry on and take this as a favorable engagement, or whether he wants to retreat and just regather his troops. Looks like he is happy to take this fight though. We'll see if that was a wise decision or not. The city does get captured again by Jatton, and taking on 2 armies with 1 army is always risky. I don't think it worked out too badly, but oh, some poor micro there by Dave. Very rare you see that, and he does lose a few units needlessly. Looks like he is not backing down though. Dave is absolutely going to continue to pressure, and this is really creating an opportunity for Lube to go in here and harass Momo. Lube does not have any siege though, so he cannot apply any real pressure of capturing a city. So basically Momo does not really need to retreat, but he likely will need to help out Jatton here for a little bit longer, because Jatton's army appears to have been hurt, and his army size is a lot smaller here. Look at Dave bringing militia here to add a little bit of substance to his army. And Dave is by no means going all in here either. His eco is strong, remember that. So this is really yeah.
He's sitting on 160 wealth, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, 160 wealth income.
Oh, exactly. And look at Jatton's wealth income, 94. And I think a big part of that is because these caravans basically got reset, and now Jatton is in trouble, and Dave is going to take Jatton's city. The city has gone down, and oh, this is not looking good at all for Jatton here. He will definitely need Momo to come and help him out again. And Dave is just proving why he is known as basically the best player in the world. Meanwhile, we do have Boo here taking advantage of all the chaos in the northwest. He wants some glory to his name as well. He is going in. He has a heap of crossbowmen as well, and he captures Prolays' city. This is heading south for SPQR quickly. This is not looking good if you're an SPQR fan. Looking excellent though if you're an EL fan. Both Boo and Dave, the original duo, are doing very well on either of their respective sides. It looks like Prolays may be able to force this back, but at what cost will it be? He does take his city back. Meanwhile, Momo is playing mop-up man right now. He is basically going from side to side, trying to help out his allies and keep that balance going. Which must be a
pocket players are close to enlightenment now.
Wow. See, this game, it looks like it's tilting in the favor of EL, but I think Momo definitely could dictate the way this game finishes here, because he has a superb eco. Look at that knowledge income, 234 compared to Lube's 170. Lube is definitely holding his own. He's doing a great boom as well, but Momo's boom has been splendid. 18 scholars at this stage, 234 income, and he will be in Enlightenment Age as soon as he clicks up. He is researching Age 5 right now, so strap yourselves in. This is about to go to Age 5. Boo is not letting his pedal off the gas though. He is reinforcing directly to the front lines, although he is starting to encounter a fair bit of resistance here. I mean, Momo's just sending just enough units to hold this off.
Look, the Americans here have got a decent economy. He's got a decent eco. He's got close to 200 eco.
Yeah. But look at his knowledge income. Oh man, this happened the last game. What is it with proles and scholars? It seems like he's lost the hotkey for the scholar button. But we'll wait and see. Maybe he'll build hanging gardens a bit later on. But this could be a repeat of what happened in the last game. We've got to remember that was another instance where he was against... that was the second game, wasn't it? Where he was against Lube, and he didn't build many scholars in that game either.
That was the Roman... He was versing the Roman Spirit Bomb there.
Yeah, that was a mighty Roman Spirit Bomb too. It looks like we got the Chinese Spirit Bomb here from Momo. He is in Age 5, and he is well and truly ahead of everyone else on the map. I mean, meanwhile, we have Lube is in Age 5 as well. Lube has a superb eco. I mean, they both have great ecos. Yeah.
Boo is worried about Blue here. He's worried about Momo. Ooh.
And actually, Jadden is doing quite well here. Surprisingly, he's landed on his feet. Although, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold this. Just as I say that, I might have cursed him, because he does not have enough units nearby. But look at this. Momo is going behind into Dave's territory here and causing a lot of damage, possibly halting that construction of the porcelain tower as well. And you got to say that Lube is being very passive this whole game, which is okay if you're booming hard and you're going to go hard once you get to Age 5, but he's now in Age 5 and this is his time to really impose his will.
And Momo's playing a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice aggression here from Momo, knowing the right time to retreat to, and retreat he will. Does he have a force march in him? No, he does not, so he might lose some of these units getting chased down, but the lion's share of them will survive, and he may need to come over here and help out Jatten, defend off this attack. This is really starting to become a bit of a 2v1 here for Momo. And remember, Lube does have a superb eco, and he will be able to field a massive army, and he is starting to get full production going now. Proles may need to start to turn on the gas a bit himself and try and make something happen here against Boo. I mean, Boo's playing very well, but his eco is still at 150 for wood and for metal, so there might be an opportunity there for Proles. But this is increasingly looking likely that EL are in pole position here, because Dave's eco is going really strong. He does have that porcelain tower up now, so he's getting exceptional returns on his investment into these merchants. Look at that, 64 wealth from his diamonds here. 64 wealth from one single merchant. If that's not incredible, I don't know what is. And if you look down here, Boo is saying, now is the time, I'm going to capture this city again. I want the city back. Looks like there will be an attempted bribe here. I don't know if he will be able to capture this. Proles doing well. Nice hold here by Proles. Meanwhile, Dave is walking back, and Lube is going in for the assault. Ooh. Lube has captured Momo's city, so a lot of action all around the map right now. Momo looks like he may be able to hold. And Prolay's also doing a good job of holding here. Jadden trying to keep Dave busy, but he knows that he can't fight him head on. So there's a lot of simultaneous fights going on here. This is pretty much... The action is wherever we want to watch it. Looks like Prolays will be able to hold there, and SPQR doing a stellar job so far, but Momo, not enough units to hold off this huge army of Lubes. Lube has boot with some nice rares there for Nubians as well. And you can start to see that this is showing in the power of his army. He's got his Camel Corps up as well, the unique unit for Nubians. You don't see them too much in Nomad because games don't go this far a lot of the time, but nice to see those Camel Corps getting put to good use.
Prolays has held. He got his second armor a little bit late, but he's held okay.
Yeah, Prolays has done really well here to hold off Boo. Definitely looked bad for him for a while there. Fortunately for him though, if he was to cast his eye on his allies' cities right now, it's not a pretty sight. All you can see is the Nubian armies rampaging on Momo in the middle here, and the Egyptian armies also crushing Lakota. And this is, remember, Jatten's capital, and his senate has been built there for his monarch, so he cannot move his cap.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I also have a bad feeling, a very bad feeling if you're an SPQR fan anyway.
This reminds me of when you're watching TV late at night, one of those old movies come on, an old prison movie. And the young man has been sentenced to prison, you know, and he's heard that bad things happened in there, the young guys. And then they fast forward to the communal shower scene, and he's in there very nervous, and he's got the soap, and he's surrounded by 800-pound gorillas, and he's got the soap in his hand, and the soap pops out and falls down on the floor. And then the camera pans down onto the floor, and all you can see is the soap and big feet all around it. And I just feel,
yeah.
I feel exactly the same here. I have a feeling of apprehension that nothing good is going to happen. Let me put it that way.
That sounds a bit that story you were telling me about Mr. Whippy. Is that the same story, or?
No, that was a different story.
Oh, sorry.
Like, nothing good is going to happen. Honestly, I don't want to watch what's going to happen here. I mean, this doesn't look good.
No, it certainly does not. It looks like EL are crushing here, especially at the top and in the middle. Yeah.
SPQR has dropped the soap. That's all I can say. And it doesn't look good. They've dropped the soap on the shower floor, and it doesn't look good.
Certainly doesn't look good, and it looks like it's liquid soap too, so it takes a bit longer to pick up, which is not ideal.
Lube is mounting an offensive over... Sorry, not Lube. Prolays is mounting an offensive over there, and he's got some good raiders going around the back.
Oh, I'm at the 23-minute mark. 10 seconds. So I'll just...
Yeah, have a look. He's got some raiders going around the back there, Prolays. He's taking the front city.
Prolays. Oh, look at this.
Prolays.
Prolays is moment of glory here. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking in the wrong area. Prolays does capture the city, and Jatten's capital has gone down here, so he's only got 3 minutes left, and that's a Versailles getting built by Lou. But look at this. Prolays could win the game here for SPQR. Are you going to call it right now? Is SPQR going to win from here?
Well, let me put it this way. Prolays has not dropped his soap. He's doing very well. But the rest of the team, unfortunately,
he's won the battle.
It doesn't look good.
Whether the war will be won will remain to be seen. But this is very encouraging signs here for SPQR fans. This is domination by Prolays right here. Boo is getting crushed, and I'm just kidding, Boo, in case you're listening to this. But I mean, this is very good play here by Prolays. He's giving his team a chance, and that's what they need. It doesn't look good anywhere else you look. So just focus on this patch of the world. And if you're an SPQR fan, you've got something to cheer for here, because Prolays is on the march. He is angry. He is getting his revenge on Boo. And he is about to take Boo's capital. Well, not quite yet, but soon. That's if Dave doesn't, or Lube doesn't come and kill him first.
It's not often that one player is in 6 and your two teammates are in 4.
Very true. That's always not a good, not a great outcome.
No.
Oh man, that must be. I mean, Momo was the pocket player, so in fairness, he was the best position one to boom. But I have to give Momo full credit; he boomed exceptionally well, and yeah, definitely got to be frustrating. That's got to be a frustrating game for Jatton too. I feel like he just never got his mojo going there. He was probably unlucky not to be in the pocket himself as Lakota. His ruin count at the beginning was shocking for a Lakota player, and that's the nature of this game. Sometimes it's just a bit random. If you send one citizen half a tile too far over to the left or the right, they're not going to see the ruin. You're not going to get the bonus of the 50 food. So yeah, that could be a big reason there. But fair play to Dave. He played as Egyptians, which they're a good nation. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like a dominant nation. They're Egyptians, man. Like it's not like oh man, I can't believe I lost. Oh no, it's fine. He was Egyptians. I think it was just like Dave playing exceptionally well. He went despot. He applied a lot of pressure, took the city, and from that point on, it just seemed like the game was just a little bit out of whack. And Boo did a great job as well at the bottom there with Turks. So yeah, excellent game, and that officially means that EL have taken this fourth game of the series. And that does mean that we are down to a scoreline of 3-1. So what do you reckon, Roachy? Is that I know you predicted an SPQR win of this series at the beginning. Are you still feeling confident? Are you still feeling? Look deep into your heart right now and say, SPQR are about to do a reverse sweep. They're about to win 3 games in a row. You know they can do it, right? You know they can do it. They have the willpower. They have the heart. They have the ability. They've just shown it. Momo played perhaps the greatest game of Rise of Nations that we've seen in the last week or so. But he was on the losing side of his team.
I think they're just a bit unlucky there too with the rares, you know, when you're up against Diamond and Pappy and some other, or that, and the commerce rare, what's that, Silk and
Yeah, that's true.
And the Chinese player Momo, to his credit, got all the ruins. He got 600 odd ruins, and Jatton got 200 odd ruins. It's just they're sort of scouting against each other, you know.
Yeah, no, I think that always plays a big factor. Sometimes, if you get a map and it's stacked a little bit against you with ruins or rares, it always makes it that little bit harder. And yeah, it just wasn't happening for him that game. So, all right, let's.
And Dave played a lovely game. I mean, he just built his army and inched forward and inched forward and inched forward and kept building and building and building. He played a lovely game, a lovely textbook game. It'd be a good game to go back and watch from his perspective on how to play well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Dave did exceptionally well. And yeah, make sure if there's any budding Rise of Nations players out there, I'm sure we will definitely be uploading all of these replays to a server at some point in the near future. And I would really recommend downloading them and watching them from the first-person view of some of these great players, such as Dave, such as Jatton, such as Prolays. Basically, anyone in this game, they're all great players. So it's a great way to learn the build orders, and you can take notes and write them down. And yeah, it's a really good way to learn. But yeah, obviously you need to know the basics first. So don't try to run before you can walk. But it is a great resource and a great way to learn the game. Yeah, sorry, Roachy.
Full credit Prolays. Prolays ended up beating Boo there. A little bit of help at the start, but he ended up winning. Full credit Prolays.
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. Prolays deserves some serious props, and I think Momo also played a great boom game. So, all right. Without further ado, should we jump into game number 5?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. So you got the replay ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, so this game will be back on a familiar map here. This is King of Sahara, and this map will be on Sahara. So you can see that SPQR are going back to their roots. They're going back to what they're comfortable with. And let's have a quick look at their nations that they've picked, because There has been some criticism in the chat, particularly from Mentalist, on the nation picks that SPQR have picked. I'm keen to hear Mentalist tell us his thoughts on that. But in the meantime, let's have a quick look. They've gone with Persians, Japanese, and Nubians here on Sahara. What's your thoughts? What's your first impressions of those picks?
I love them.
Yeah, you love.
I love them. I mean, Nubians just rock on Sahara. I think they're a great nation. You can buy food. You can do a 3-city. You can go 3-city and ancient if you really wanted to by buying food. You can age fast. You're getting merchants out straight away. It's just Japanese are just dominant. If they're in the pocket, they can surprise and go to either wing. Or they can do a 200 eco in ancient. And Persians, they just rock as well. HCs and archers, they do a beautiful medieval attack where you can throw some Ellies into the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let's quickly look at EL's nations as well. So EL do have Mongols, Germans, and Inca here. Dave is Mongols, Lube is Inca. What's your thoughts on this matchup? We've got Persians, Japs, Nubians versus Mongols, Germans, and Inca.
Well, I don't think much of Germans. We've got Germans versus Japs in the corner, in the pocket.
Yeah, very true.
Look, the Jap player, I think, really has to take advantage of that situation. You've got to guess Germans are going to be slow. And maybe they're going to play slightly more of a boom game. So I think the Japs really... It's up to Momo to really take advantage of the situation with Japs and get on the attack early, I think, now. Knowing his opposite number is German.
Yeah, very true. And I get the feeling that Momo is just naturally... He sometimes goes either one extreme or the other. He goes for an extreme boom or an extreme aggression. And it'll be interesting to see what he goes for. But I just get the feeling that after the way the last game went, I'm starting to think he might go for something aggressive here. And he does have Nubians on the bottom here that Jatton's right up against Dave, I believe it is, who's playing as Mongols. This is probably a bit of a mismatch as far as nations go. Dave should be able to have the advantage here over the Nubian player. And yeah, this actually might be quite tricky for Jatton to defend this and stay on an even eco. Do you think Nubians will have problems here?
Yeah, especially given that Mongol has the horse rare. Mongol and Inca have the horse rare. So that doesn't bode well, you know.
Oh yeah, that is a very good point. I mean, geez, that discount on those Incan cavalry and on obviously the Mongol cavalry is going to be insane. Have they scouted horses though?
Oh, they will eventually. Let me see. No, they haven't. But
they will get. Whereabouts is horses? I'm trying to find it.
Just near the Incan capital.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's right in his midst. So yeah, he should see this in any moment now. Will he see it? Oh, he turns. Oh no, that's Proles. So no, they still haven't seen horses. So that's a big break there for SPQR. If they do scout those horses, which they should eventually, that will be a massive boost for both the Mongol and the Incan player here. And let's try and figure out, so do you think we're going to see aggression here or just cautious play from both teams?
The nations have gone with Japs and... I think they've got to go... I think aggression, you know. We've got Persian Mill 1.
Yeah.
But not Persian Mill 1, Persian raiding here.
Really good raids too. These are really hard to defend. These Immortals are really, really excellent units at raiding citizens because they kill citizens so quickly with a few of those shots, and they can obviously attack from range. Meanwhile, he's attacking on both fronts. Yeah.
That's really smart play. You got to slow Inca down, right?
Oh, 100%. You got to try and delay them as much as possible as far as getting their mines up and running.
Could this be another game? Could this be another game that hangs in the balance due to Proles? That maybe Proles here can win this game. He showed he could win last game. Can he win again?
Well, I mean, he has a bit of an axe to grind here. I mean, if you cast our minds back to game number 2, that was when that Roman Spirit Bomb basically charged up, powered up for 15 days, and then just destroyed him in Age 5. So he doesn't want another Incan Spirit Bomb to destroy him here. And yeah, some very, very good raids here. It looks like he will micro that away and keep that Immortal alive. That is huge. Getting that unit back, healing him up is a big deal. And they do have relics as well. So don't forget that. Relics is one of those rares that can change the game sometimes. They have Salt behind. So not too bad. I mean, Sahara always has plenty of options when it comes to rares. And I feel like the SPQR guys have enough choices at their disposal to make this fairly balanced.
You know, the Jap is playing the long game here. It's going for that Com2 big eco. It's fair enough, but you're competing against German, you know. You're not going to win out against German in the long run. You know, if you haven't won the game, if you haven't made a difference in classical or medieval with Jap, I reckon it's hard to make a difference thereafter, you know.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment. I've always thought that Japs and Germans are fairly similar nations in a lot of ways. Although they work a little bit differently. They're fundamentally middle of the line, very stock standard, very fast, or they have bonuses in the early game, and they have the potential for huge ecos as well. But I guess you make a good point. I mean, as this game goes on and on, Germans should be able to scale their eco up faster than the way Japs can.
Yeah, that'd be my thinking. Keep in mind that every player here would kill me.
Well, that is a good point, but these are some of the best players in the world, so I think they would kill pretty much anyone that tried to play against them. It's what makes these games so good.
I'll never forget Prolaz was trying to teach me how to play Nomad well, you know, and I think he was quite exasperated. Anyway.
Yeah.
I digress.
And look at this. Jatten's raiding with a couple of light horses here. Keeping Dave nice and busy. And Dave has gone for his trusty Despot. Probably no surprise there, given I think he's gone Despot every single game so far. So clearly, if you want to be as good as Dave, the first thing you should do is go Despot every game. Would that be a fair observation? Oh, nice micro there by Jatten too. He gets away with both. An excellent micro. Down to 9 HP and 11 HP respectively. He should be able to get those back to safety and heal up, so some excellent micro there. Oh, and look at Prolaz's eco. Looks like he may have been raided perhaps, or he's just building his eco up, but his food income is quite low.
Yeah, Dave was over there raiding with a horse archer at one stage.
Oh, okay, that would make sense. Well, yeah, Prolaz's eco is a bit behind here. Meanwhile, Lou...
Yeah, but so is Inca. I mean, they both are. It's a bit of a bloodbath. Well, he's up to a 100 eco, but...
Yeah, I mean, Lube's eco is actually just starting to really take off now. And yeah, it's not a 150 eco yet, but I mean, you just got to remember that that extra 50 wealth he's getting is... Yeah, everyone knows that Inca is basically a hack, right? So once you get to this point, it's just like, oh damn, you got to keep the pressure on, keep them guessing, and not let them power up too much, because that Inca Spirit Bomb is going to come back to haunt him.
Have they still not discovered the horse rare just below Cuzco?
Look at that, they haven't. It's still unscouted, just on the very edge of that fog of war too. So
that is Roachy style scouting. Okay, many a game.
And I mean, if they built a tower too, they could. Oh, actually, that's really hard to see. Look at that. Even if you tried to tower scout that,
it's on rock.
Yeah, it literally looks like the rocks are the reason that it's going red, not the edge of it. So yeah. I'll give them a pass there. Well, look at this. Boo and Dave talking in the chat. They're starting to think that there's a double going on here, and there probably is a double going on. Look at this. Momo is sending a lot of these Japanese heavy infantry, and just a reminder for anyone, in case you forgot, Japanese heavy infantry can absolutely wreck and level a city in a matter of moments. So they theoretically can probably pick whatever city they want, right click on it, and just basically level it and capture it. Wow, what a play here by SPQR. I think they're probably going to be able to take this. This is a really creative move, and great teamwork here by both Jatten and Momo.
This reminds me of the Gay Rush.
It does. It actually does, and we'll provide some context about that later on, just in case anyone doesn't know what you're referring to. Although I question this decision from Momo and Jatten here. I mean, they had an opportunity to capture that. Well, I guess Dave did go age 3, so that probably slowed them down a bit. But
it was about as successful as the gay rush.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I mean, they're taking a very conscious decision here to just tackle Dave's units head on, which militia versus heavy infantry is fine, but doing heavy infantry with crossbowmen behind, I can't help but think they could have just gone for the capsack there, because Boo's army was so far out of position. If they just right-clicked on it, those Japanese heavy infantry would have wrecked that city. Even if it was large, I feel like they would have captured it. And I know a capsack would not necessarily decide the game, but it would cause some serious damage and get that capsack bonus.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's rough for the SPQR fans cheering that rush on there. But great defense there by Dave and also by Boo. Let's have a look at Dave. So Dave used a lot of militia there, but his eco is barely being touched. He is still almost maxed out. He's only got the 1 caravan at the moment, but I believe that is because he doesn't have a 3rd city, so that would explain why. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. That one lone horse is sticking out from the shroud.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the discovery of the amazing horses, and they must be so happy to see that. Lube actually said in the chat, he told them horse, horse, horse. And if surely Dave saw that and he's building a merchant at some point, he's got to get that horse, because yeah, that's the best bonus you can get when you're Mongols. Meanwhile, it looks like Prolase's eco is still very, very slow here. Perhaps that early rush, it looked like it was doing a lot of damage, but I mean, you did mention earlier that Prolase has copped a lot of raids during this game, and yeah, it's really showing right now. His food income, his wood income are both low. His woodcutter camps definitely lacking. He's only got 30 wood behind, and I do feel like he's got no real safe wood here. So yeah, the map geography kind of screwing him a bit here. Look at this. City of Baku. Don't forget, he is Persian, so don't panic. That is a capital, but it's his 2nd capital. He won't lose the game if he loses that city alone. But regardless of capital or no capital, that's still a very important city. Prolase has gone despot, but he is hiding in the city himself. He knows that he can't leave right now. And look at this. Lube and Boo have basically completely surrounded this army. It's like they are sieging the city, and his units inside have no option now, but they're going to get ejected very soon. And when they do, they're going to get assaulted, like hand-to-hand combat. Oh, he does get medieval, so the city does go large. It's going to buy him another probably 15 to 20 seconds here. But I mean, what's Momo going to do? He's only got 3 units here. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough to take on this army. I mean, it's the right move. They need to buy as much time as they can, but just look at this army here from Boo. That is a lot of heavy infantry, and that city does go down. Nice eject here from Prolase. He got them safely to the top and managed to avoid a direct massacre. But the unit count is not on his side right now, and they are not even upgraded, those bowmen, against these crossbowmen. That's going to be a slaughter.
Alright, there's raiders everywhere. Boo's just done a really good job. Dave's everywhere.
Yeah, wow. Look at that. Yep. There's just there's like mortal physical damage at the front, and then in the back, like in the beating heart of the economies, there's also like some serious damage going on. It's like these trade routes are like the arteries of the economy, and those arteries are getting slit right now. They are bleeding left, right, and center here. SPQR are on their last breaths.
Look, you know, these guys, Boo's played a great game this game. He was over there helping Dave defend, wasn't he? And now, is he helping Dave defend that capsack?
Yeah, he definitely did. So he came down and helped protect that city and basically send all his units over there. So he did a great job helping Dave. And then since then...
He's run from the bottom of the map to the top of the hat.
Yeah, exactly. Recognizing the fact that Momo lost a lot of units. Dave is saying in the chat, I am losing here slowly.
Yeah, what the hell? I don't get it.
I actually am very surprised by his comment there, because maybe he's using it as psychological warfare to get his teammates to win. But I cannot, for the life of me, see how Dave is losing here. It does. Maybe he thinks that Jatten is stronger than he really is. Jatten's eco is not too bad, but it's not. It's about the same, slightly above. Wow, look at that eco from Lube. Look at that eco from Lube. 256. I would love to see Lube put down Colossus right now. There would be nothing greater. Oh, actually, this is a very good point. We haven't really talked about this, but Jatten is in Age 4 here, and he's playing as Nubians.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a big army, but he does have the age advantage. But Dave is aging himself, so he should be able to pick off this castle, which is actually a big deal, because that can prevent Dave from getting the operations upgrade. Meanwhile, Jatten already does have his armor upgrade, so he's already got +4. And nice castle placement there. Dave has just run straight into a castle, and that is not going to be an effective raid. Not a good idea to try and take out that castle with his units. And this castle will go down. So now what is Dave going to do? I think he will have to come back here. And look at this. Jatten has forced Boo's hand. Boo has come back now. And rightly so. Boo knows that the damage has been done up here. Prolays is in dire straits. Look at that eco of Prolays. He is basically standing on one leg right now.
Yeah, Jatten's playing a good game here. They're both going Monarch. They're both going Monarchy, and that if he can get that second armor, if Jatten can get the second armor, he could really cause some problems here.
Yeah, I just thought there's a bit of disunity though between SPQR, because Jatten needs to be careful. He probably needs to run away. It's too late now. Yeah. He's been completely cornered.
Yeah. Yeah, what a shame.
And Momo has a huge army, but he's not putting it in a strategic position as of yet. He's kind of just wandering around behind his own lines here, where he can't really exert any pressure. I'm not sure what Momo should be doing, but I feel like, yeah, he needs to put those units to use. I mean, Jatten has a fairly weak eco though, underlying this. I mean, given the point in the game we are at, he's only at 130, 145. Meanwhile, you have Lube on the other side of the map with 260 food and wealth, 200 wood and stone. Zeus's stone. And yeah, he's up against Prolays, who is just... Prolays is at that point, and everyone's been there, where you're just like, oh man, like, you want to GG, you want to quit, but you're like, okay, this is a tournament. I need to delay my opponent for every second I can, because it could be the difference. That's what Lube did in the third game that we watched yesterday.
Yeah.
So you never give up, never surrender.
So Momo's going over to help him.
Yeah, Momo should be able to help. Oh, the capital does go down there. Nice eco boost there. Not that Lube needed it, but an extra 500 yes, of everything. And looks like Momo has arrived in time to help push Lube back. But I feel like if Lube really wanted to... Actually, no, it's a good retreat. It's not a good idea to take on that army because he would be severely outnumbered. And he's better off sitting back, building that huge eco, and coming back once he gets to the next stage. Surprising to see Dave not as the, I guess, the dominant player in this game. He's playing as Mongol, so was expecting another characteristic big game here from Dave, but by no means he's not doing badly either. And remember, he did get attacked by the 2 players early on and lost a decent number of eco there. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You can see the footprints that walk straight past that caravan. That is a nice ambush. Oh! It's like the invisible cloak in Harry Potter. You can see that they're making tracks along the way here. And starting to come out. Wow, that ambush goes for a long time. It's been like 30 seconds so far. And let's go back. I'm actually really fascinated to see this. So this is a very sneaky attack here by Dave, and I like this move. Although it could put him under a bit of pressure. It might be a base trade. Okay, so his ambush has run out now. That was the longest ambush I've ever seen, and obviously something that you don't see too much in Nomad, where you get the upgrades, where it seems to go for that long. But now Jatton needs to make a decision. Does he go for Karakoram, or does he retreat? And retreating doesn't seem like a great option here. Actually, it's Momo's capital, sorry. So Momo needs to make that decision. Or Prolase's capital does go down, and that's partly forced by Dave's attack, because Momo needs to go back and save his own bacon, and he's leaving Prolase here to basically die.
Yeah, Dave got the second second armor upgrade.
Yeah, he's researching operations. Yep, and he does take Momo's capital as well. And you gotta say, man, that is not good. It is starting to look like it might be that time of the day. It is starting to look like it might be that time of the day.
SPQR never played Inca.
Yeah, you're right. And there's probably a bunch of other nations they didn't pick too. I'm trying to think, is there any other nations that stand out? They had Bantu and Iroquois, which are very good. They chose Dutch. They chose Persians. But yeah, maybe they were saving Inca for another game in the series. And look at this. Jatton knows that Dave's army is out of position. Boo has come back here. Boo is going to try and basically play protector here. Remember, Boo is in age 5. Jatton is only in age 4 here. So Jatton will need a really good engagement if he's going to take on this army, which is 1 age above him. Or he's going to need a lot of units. Prolase calling GG.
He's fought to the end. He's done. Never give up, never surrender.
Yeah, Prolase, he's by no means throwing in the towel. He literally only has 1 city left, so whether he stays or not, he's not going to impact the game. But you can see GG is getting called here by Momo, and also getting called by all the players. Jatton is saying in the chat, one day we will take revenge. 58. Yeah. And yeah, this is looking like EL are your finalists for...
Yeah, first one's into the grand final.
Yeah. There we go, and the players have quit. That is GG right there.
Well, they certainly tried. They certainly tried SPQR.
Yeah, they definitely did.
These EL guys can play. Boo was all over the map. He's saving Dave's captain. He runs up and takes Prolase's front city. I mean,
yeah.
You know, give me a break. And Lube, once he got that Inca economy going, which is what I was saying, SPQR never played Inca. Once he got that Inca economy going, there was no stopping him, Lube. So. Yeah,
exactly right. And that was just some excellent play there. And it's kind of like we could foresee what was going to happen. And I think Prolase, he had the right idea in going for those early raids, and they were really quite effective. But it just seemed like he left himself vulnerable to a counter raid, and his eco was just always struggling from that point forward. And if he was up against any other nation but Inca, he could probably find a way back. But Inca, they're just so powerful with the ecos. Let's have a look at this resource graph here. You can see that Lube's eco was quite slow to begin with, but it just powers up as the game goes on and on and on and on. And, that wealth income is just insane. Boo's eco as German player as well. I think you were bang on with your analysis at the start, Roachy, as well. You did say that you thought that Germans would be able to power up a lot faster than the Japanese player. I challenged you on that, and I said, well, I don't know. I think they're fairly similar. But, based on the way this game is played out, you can see that Momo's eco was strong. And I guess, we can't really compare apples with apples because Momo did go for that nice rush and that nice strategy with Jatten there. But honestly, man, I was really surprised that Jatten and Momo just didn't right-click on that capital and just take it down. Like, that was their moment. That was their one moment. Like, they take his capital, they reset all of the caravan routes, and they set Dave's eco back, like, a decent amount. They get the cap sack and then make a decision from there. They could retreat, they could try and take his army on, they could fight together. But the way it kind of panned out, I feel like they panicked a bit and didn't really know what to do. There wasn't a feeling of unity from the two players when they went in there. Like, there wasn't clarity from them, and that really kind of resulted in them just right-clicking and attack moving all these militia and just basically losing their entire armies for nothing.
It's hard to coordinate those rushes,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not something you really practice, and...
Oh, 100%. And like the adrenaline going through their veins, I'm sure it's like insane at this point. How focused these guys would be and, trying to make decisions in unison with your teammates while there's so many things to consider. It's incredibly difficult. But no, very well played. Nice defense by Dave. Nice play by Boo, and Lube also did very well. So strong performance by them, and that does mean that SPQR will not be in the grand finals here. It will be EL to defend their crown. They are the defending champs, and I guess your prediction of SPQR getting the upset, unfortunately, Roachy, they don't always come true. So
none of my predictions came true.
It's good.
I don't know if this holds a future career for me in commentating Ron. I was quite optimistic I might become a leading social commentator, social influencer in the game of Ron, prior to this. The whole Lakota thing will dominate once SPQR picks them, and SPQR will win in a 4-3 upset against the reigning champs.
Yeah. No, look, at the end of the day, you can only say what your heart believes, Roachy. That's what I always say. And at the end of the day, your heart doesn't always match with your head. But I think a lot of people were expecting SPQR had a really good chance of winning here. It hasn't gone their way, and you could analyze this game. There's so many different factors. There's rares, there's ruins, there's nations. That's what makes this game great and interesting, though. No two games are the same. Every single game is different, and the players have to make strategic decisions based on what they have. EL, you have to say, over a best of 7, have made better strategic decisions. They've played better. They've coordinated better as a team. And yeah, that's resulted in this fairly comfortable victory when it's all said and done.
I think they've got a little bit luckier in the rares. They've had diamonds most games or something. I just feel they just did a bit better in the rares by and large.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. I think they have had diamonds pretty much every game from memory, or at least a lot of the games. And diamonds is one of those rares that gives you that huge wealth boost early on. So yeah, that could definitely be a factor. But at the same time, I'm not going to take anything away from EL. At the end of the day, a best of 7 is a big sample size here, and so I don't think you can't ever say like, oh yeah, we got unlucky, because to lose in a best of 7. Yeah, it's just too many games. The class comes through after that many games have been played. So I think SPQR played really well though over this series. It just didn't quite work out for them. A little bit more decisive on that rush, maybe it would have helped, but at the end of the day, EL had all the answers that they needed and were able to take this victory on. So congratulations to EL, and they are the grand finalists. Roachy, can you fill us in on how the rest of the bracket is going? So who who will they be facing in the grand finals here?
Yeah, I think it's ROP, Rusty Old Players. So that's ROP, Wolfie, Red Bull versus Mouse's team, who's I think it's Mouse's team, isn't it?
Yeah.
The players there escaped me.
So I believe it is Mouse, Dangerous Son. I can't remember what his alias is, but yeah, Dangerous Son is the other one, and I think it's King. And there's one other player, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, anyway, we'll have to stay tuned, and obviously we'll be able to fill you in on the latest roster updates once that game is close to getting casted. Does anyone in the chat want to say their 2 cents that we can read out on the live broadcast, be part of YouTube history before we wrap this cast up? Any thoughts? What was your favorite play of these games? Who was your favorite player? Who were you disappointed by? Who were you impressed by? Please feel free to let us know.
There's a comment there that they were good games, and I think they were good games.
Yeah, for sure. I think they were, definitely GGs. And I mean, they were all, I think, especially game number 3, that was my favorite. That was really on a knife edge. These last 2 games, for a second there, I thought SPQR would potentially be able to take that cap. But I mean, I do feel like EL, they're just so good, man. Like, let's be real.
No, they're good. They're the complete package. I mean, very, very tough to beat. If you're playing them randomly and out of the lobby and you're facing that, I mean, where's the weak spot, honestly, Like, that's a very tough team to beat.
Yeah, no, very true. And so, guys, that's... is there anything else you wanted to add, Roachy, before we start to wrap this up?
No, I'm going to go to bed and cry myself to sleep. I'm quite disappointed.
Are you going to...
Thanks for the opportunity to join you here. Thanks for Jetton to invite and Kron inviting me. That was very enjoyable. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And no, thank you, Roachy. It's been great casting with you. It's nice to have a fellow Australian casting here as well. I think this is making history right here. The first time 2 Australians have casted. Well, yesterday was the first time the game, and we do have Dave in the chat now as well. So nice to see Dave was watching the cast, and hopefully we haven't disappointed him too much with our slanderous comments about the different players. But
I mean, Dave's defense is extremely hard to crack. I mean,
yeah, I was surprised he thought he was losing, or he was going to lose. And I guess he was somewhat. He wasn't too far off the mark. He was under some pressure from Jetton, but man, that ambush was really cool. Sneaking behind enemy lines there was reminding me of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh, we can see in the chat. Oh, someone said Aussie rules. Yep, 100% agree with that. Definitely something good in the water down here. What else have we got? Kron is everybody's favourite. I don't know about that. I think Roachy is everyone's favourite now, so that might be that comment won't age well. SPQR, the Greek, says SPQR put up a good fight. They might be kings sometime. And I think that's a very good point. SPQR, they might be down now, but they're definitely not out. They've shown they have what it takes to win a tournament. I just think it didn't click for them today. But I'm sure they'll come back even stronger next time. Under whatever name, whatever clan name they decide to play as in the next tournament.
And Manchu Verma, there's more games coming. Yes, this was the semi-final, so the winner EL goes through to the grand final. So there's one more semi-final to play, and then there's the grand final to play. So more casts to come over the next week or 2, I guess. Yeah,
there's definitely more games to come. We got Arash said, I was vouching for SPQR. My heart is broken for a second time. The first time being ELO Legends. Oh my God, Arash. I'm feeling you right there. It's a tough time if you're a big supporter of what Jatton's trying to achieve. Obviously, he streams a lot, so I think a lot of players would resonate with his style. This is definitely heartbreak again. He was obviously in ELO Legends Grand Final against Dave, and he's matched up against Dave here, I think at least twice in one-on-ones basically, and Dave has had his number both times. So a big rivalry developing between Jatton and Dave. But yeah, that.
You know,
Sorry, you go.
you know, another comment I'd like to make. Indians won both their games. You know, the Indians Ellies just seemed to dominate. So the one game that SPQR won was Momo with the Ellies and the 200 eco.
Yeah.
So both times Ellies have won. And I wonder if 3v3 if they've just got that little bit more time to develop as well.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they really are sort of overpowered in 3v3. You know.
Yeah, that's true. We'll have to see how this tournament plays out. Maybe the grand final, we'll have to pay attention if there's any elephant nations. So if you see Persians, if you see Indians in the nation picks, that will be the answer. Roachy will be either proved right or wrong. So make sure you hold him accountable. But,
yeah. Another comment. I was chatting to Hockey Star earlier today, and he was sort of saying, you know, why not pick Dutch on Aussie Outback? You know, you got your free com one, and you've got your instant dock more or less, and you get a free heavy ship out raiding and whatever else. There's just certain nations which almost seem suited to certain maps, and given that choice, or similarly Egyptians on lakes. If you're eggy Egyptian, you're a pocket player. If you're lucky enough to be in the pocket.
I've never heard Egyptians called eggy before, but I like it. So from now on, make sure you ban eggy, because that is an OP nation right there. But yeah, no, I do agree. I think yeah,
there wasn't a lot of what I'm trying to say. There wasn't a lot. It's not not my criticism. All these guys beat me. It's there wasn't a lot of that in this matchup in these 7 games. It was like all 6 of the games, not 6. Most of the games were playing Sahara.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And no, I completely agree. What else have we got in the chat before we wrap this up? So we got we got Flames in the chat. He said Easy Cron's team will be in the finals, and yeah, Flames. All I can say to you is what it could have been. It could have been us in the grand finals. For those that don't know, me, Flames, and some of the other guys, Knight Rider and Duzzles, we formed a team and we won one of our games against the Lat guys. That will be a personal highlight for me, so check it out on YouTube. It's probably casted about a month or 2 months ago. But no, it wasn't to be. Dave said he was losing because he was behind in age 4 due to the double and losing eco. So there you have it. Dave has spoken. That was the reason he felt he was in trouble.
The gay rush did cause problems, after all.
I never would have thought I'd hear you saying the gay rush did cause problems, and I would agree to it and nod my head. But you are right. The gay rush definitely did cause a lot of problems there. And Dave did say, Roachy is my favourite. Is that like hearing your idol compliment you? How does that make you feel, Roachy?
Well, Dave, I've never beaten you in a game. We've faced off over the years, over many years. Faced off a few times in 3v3. I took a city off you once, and you rolled me back. One day, my friend, I will take you down.
There you heard it there, Dave. I'm sure Dave is shaking in his boots right now.
I'm sure he's not.
He won't be able to sleep tonight.
I'm sure he's not.
And he said 49 boo. Oh, I think Nob Marley is boo. So actually, I didn't realise that until now. I should have known. It was that sneaky Irishman right there. Nob Marley. So thank you, boo. Great games. GG's. And Boo also did say... Sorry, you go.
Go ahead. Boo said what?
He just said in the chat, Turks and Inca weren't picked by SPQR. That's an odd decision, according to Boo. And
yeah, that's what I was saying. They never picked Inca, you know. I mean, Inca gets going, very hard to stop, and Lube just did it in that game, you know.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I mean, you could argue that maybe they were saving it for like game 6 or 7, but I feel like there's no point saving your best nations for the last games if you're not going to make it to the last games, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, yeah, you got to build momentum. Sometimes I feel like a good strategy is just play your strongest nations in game 1, second strongest in game 2, because as you hopefully win games, you know, you get that moral victory as well. You get in a good mindset, and you can go from there and hopefully just get in your opponent's heads a bit. So, but anyway, yeah, who knows? We'll have to one day find out what the logic was for SPQR to not pick Inca. Perhaps they were saving it though.
Now, Kron, what's to come in future? What's the next competition after this one, given that we're getting towards the end of this?
Ooh,
What's the next big... Is there a Nomadium coming, a Nomadium 3 or something, or what?
That's a very good question, Roachy. Did you just say Nomadium? Did someone say Nomadium? did someone say Nomadium? Oh, sorry, I might not have heard you correctly. You did say Nomadium, right?
Yeah, Nomadium 3. Is there a Nomadium 3? That's what I'm asking while I'm here, you know?
Well, last Nomadium started, it was announced in, I think, January 2019. And then, what tournament was there at the start of 2020? I think that was Nomadium 2. So I'm just trying to put it together here. January 2021. Oh no, I think Nomadium 3 is cancelled because of social distancing. So yeah, unfortunately, due to the effects of coronavirus, no. All right, stay tuned. Nomadium 3 may or may not be coming back, but if you look at history, it's always been held at the start of each year. It's like the World Cup of Rise of Nations, basically. So let's just wait and see. But yes, that is a very good question, Roachy. I would say if you're a betting man, the next tournament in the Rise of Nations tournament schedule will indeed be some iteration of Nomadium. So any Nomaders out there, I know that your blood is pumping just hearing that. You are getting excited right now. And rightly so, because Nomadium is the greatest tournament in the world. There, I said it. It is the greatest tournament in the world. Everyone looks forward to it. Even standard players. Even players like Roachy look forward to it. Don't you, Roachy?
Yeah, well, it was very different for me. It was the first time I'd ever played Nomad seriously, so it was a steep learning curve. Let me put it that way.
That is true. It is a very steep learning curve, especially for those poor standard players who get dropped in the middle of nowhere with 3 citizens and nothing to do except build a city. What do you do, Roachy? Do you just wander around the map like a lonely person just saying, hey, I'm just going to build here. It looks like a nice place.
No, the first thing I normally type is WTF, what the fuck? WTF, I don't have a city. I don't have a city. Triple exclamation mark. And a few times, actually, I've had teammates instantly quit at that point. And...
Well, it wasn't me quitting by any chance, was it?
I had one in September this year when I came back because I've been busy with work. I came back in September this year and I played a Nomad game. I got the city done, I got the library, and I started to research tech and I asked my teammates, what do you research first? Is it Civ or Com? I forget. And again, instantly, one of my teammates quit. It's like, oh, come on, man. I was like...
It was a joke. I swear.
No, I was serious. I don't know. It is Com. I know it's Com now. Yes, it's Com. But I just couldn't remember in the heat of the moment. Is it Civ or Com? Because, Civ is so standard, right? Your Science 1 Civ 1 is just standard, straight up in your library. Yeah. And it doesn't cost you any extra food, because you get refunded, whatever the 12 food or whatever it is, you get refunded once it completes.
True.
The Science 1 completes research.
Yeah.
It's just so standard. So you're getting that standard mindset, anyway.
Yeah.
Now look, just now that I'm out of the competition, I'm sort of thinking what's next in team games.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, you bring up a very good point. Sorry, what were you saying?
A co-op tournament is an interesting thought. I'm just seeing in the chat here, a co-op tournament.
Sermon just said in the chat, he said co-op tournament would be good. I agree. I think that would be fun. Whatever happened to that musical chairs tournament? I feel like that started but never finished. But anyway, musical chairs would be fun. And then Sermon also said a lot of Nomad players already have high blood pressure. Don't stress them. And I can't help but say that is definitely a true statement. Some players have higher blood pressure than others. I'm looking at you, Mentalist. Who else am I looking at? There's a few of them. All the keyboard warriors out there who like to let everyone know in the chat during games. Bedouin? I don't know how to say his name, but have you ever played against him?
Maybe not.
No, anyway, he's one of those players that likes to use the chat in-game as one of his weapons rather than using the units and the resources. So, It's always entertaining. But yes, no, there's a lot of players with high blood pressure. Have the best 8 players go assassin. That's a good idea, Spaghetti. I'm trying to think if it would work or not. I feel like these players have such high IQs that they'll probably just figure out a way to exploit it and not kill each other. But that would be fun. 8-player 1v1. That would be chaos. We should have a Diplo tournament. That would be fun. Like a Diplo tournament where you get like 8 players, like 4 from EL, or I don't know, 3 from EL, 3 from SPQR, 2 from like somewhere else, like Mouse or someone else, and then just throw them into a pit and just say, guys, fight it out with Diplo. And like, there's no rules. Like, they can make alliances beforehand. They can do anything they want. I would love to see that.
It'd be a very interesting 4v4. So you'd say all players versus SPQR, for argument's sake, 4v4 or 3v3, but you go in with Diplos, and then it's random nation placement. Nah, it wouldn't be as much fun. Forget that.
I think by definition, Diplo can't be 3v3.
It can't be 3v3, no.
So, I like the idea of kind of where you're going, but from a unit placement point of view, maybe, a city placement. But yeah.
I was speaking to Hockey Star as well today, and he was saying, look, the one thing he wishes is that there'd be a patch for this game. You know, there needs to be a few little patches to this game. And the first thing I would say you have to do, you've got to nerf ruins. You know, knock them down to 15 or 20. And I just think they have far too much influence on the game. The start on the game, the first 2 minutes, the first 4 minutes is critical. You know, do you pick up those extra few food ruins?
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I wonder if I know there has been talk about a patch, and the difficulty there is that it's a great idea, and hopefully it can happen in a way which works for everyone. But it also splinters the community possibly. So that's something that I would like to avoid. Unless there's a way to make it very easy to switch back and forth. And if there is a way, then that sounds fantastic. But yeah, with the ruin comment, I do agree with that. I think, I don't know, like, what about the idea that you could make a rule maybe, like you got to honor this rule, like where you can't go science 1 maybe in the beginning of the game. Like, would that work? Because that would naturally eliminate the 50 ruins and make them down to 25. Like, yeah.
You could play a competition like that. I was thinking more of a permanent patch which is introduced via Steam. So it's a permanent automatic, and everyone gets it. So new players get it. Everyone picks up the same game files, obviously.
Yeah, true. And I mean, I just realized the idea I just came up with, like an honor system where you don't research science, it wouldn't work because Chinese already start with science 1, right?
No, they don't.
Oh, they don't? Okay. I wasn't sure about standard. So in that case, maybe my system could work. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, you're probably right. I'm more of a nerd.
Chinese get cheap science 1, so it's 96.
Okay, they get cheaper. Yep, they don't start with it though. So okay, that potentially, theoretically, could work, maybe. But yeah, I think you come with a good point. Those ruins definitely do sometimes decide games, which is not something that you want to decide because it is so luck based. But at the same time, there is definitely a level of skill in scouting. Some players are really good at scouting too, such as, Dave.
There is, but have a look at that game where Jathan got 850 ruins and dominated. Okay, a certain amount of that was luck, certain amount skill, and then he was Lakota and he got 200 ruins and missed out. In a sense, it's almost a game, and his Chinese compatriot got 600 ruins. Sorry, HNZ88, assistant to the community balance patch, just reading the comments here, division here. Ruin nerf is very much a thing that is coming.
Yeah.
So who's HNZ88? Who's that?
So HNZ88, he's definitely an esteemed member of the RON community. He's the founder, I believe, of the Discord for Rise of Nations. So there's a big Rise of Nations community there on Discord. So big shout out to anyone in that Discord. And I believe they are working on a patch right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd love to have some input into that. So would Hockey Star. We don't want to split the not the founder, that's Chicken, but I'm the current owner. Yeah. We don't want to split the community, so it'd have to be automatic and universal. So when you restart your game, which is pretty much the same with StarCraft or anything like that, it says the following files are available, and it automatically downloads or forces you to download or whatever it is. I think that would be highly preferable.
Yeah, it certainly would be. I agree. And I mean, I guess the problem we're faced with as a community is that the developers of Rise of Nations have basically gone AWOL. We haven't away without leave, so they don't touch the game anymore and they're not patching it, and I don't think they're receptive to our ideas. So
well, we could patch it, right? It's not hard to patch the game files. I've done this myself. Mr. Whippy and I, between GameSpy and here, we played probably 1,000 lines on our own little network, and I patched the files.
Yeah, well, if it's that easy to do, then yeah, certainly that could be a good idea. Especially if the patch is quite simple. The game is as much as we all complain, for a game that hasn't been patched for like 15 years or whatever it is, I feel like it's very, very well balanced for the most part. And we kind of balance it ourselves with the different nation tiers and stuff in team games. But for the most part, it's very well balanced. So I would agree. I think if there was some kind of patch, it would need to be quite simple, keep it very true to how the game is today, but just make very subtle changes. For example, such as nerfing ruins down to 25 instead of 50 in standard games, just as one example. And there's probably a few other things that we could do, but yeah, I would suggest that, just simplicity is key. We don't need to go and, buff Russians and make Russians the best nation in the game or anything like that. Maybe some small things, but yeah, it's always going to generate good discussion. So yeah, I'm keen to see how that all goes. But in the meantime, we'll just have to balance it the manual ways that we do.
Yeah, if we could present Steam with a new file and say, okay, we want this file to be the new standard file, and it's just HTML. I think I program in 6 languages, but I don't program in HTML, but I can work it out. If we presented them a new HTML file and said, we've instituted these changes, can you please put this from wherever it's downloaded from, and maybe it's that simple.
Yeah, no, I think certainly worth asking the question, and yeah, I mean, it could be better, but it could be worse too. We have a very playable and functional game, and thankfully it actually, RON doesn't crash too much these days, which is, I guess, something we need to give the developers credit for. It used to crash quite a bit more. I mean, it still crashes a decent amount, don't get me wrong, but at least we do have a game that we can play and enjoy. And yeah, if we can get a patch, that's great. And if not, we'll make the best of what we got. So.
What's the chat here? Yes, apparently no damage applies get applied in EE. EE is, sorry, Dave, what's EE?
Extended edition. So that's Steam.
The edition we play.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so there's a whole lot of little things, like there's horse archers now take 3 shots to kill a villy, whereas they used to kill 2, which really, it takes away from the Mill 2 meta. Back in the old version, it was very much Mill 2 horse archers, and now if you go Mill 2 horse archers, they're not as good as they used to be, partly because of the 3-shot kill versus villies.
Oh, so do you think that was an intended nerf, or was that just a pure bug where they stuffed up?
HN is saying that's exactly the thing. The unit masks, community balance patches fixes that. Okay, this is the conversation there in the side going on.
Oh right, okay, wow. So
these guys, you guys are pro. You guys.
So horse archers might go back to 2-shot kills.
Yes, which is the unit masks.
Yeah. Okay.
Skybox 49.
Wow. What else does that affect besides horse archers?
Well, I say Ellies are OP as well. Elephants are overpowered.
Oh, they aren't OP.
Yeah.
In the patch. Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, that could be a good thing too. I mean, at the moment, yeah, Ellie's certainly, they definitely pack a punch. I'll say that much. I don't want to say they're completely OP, but they are kind of trending that way. So, okay. Yeah. I wonder if we just go to Skybox and just say, hey, here you go, kind sirs. Here's some. We've done all the work for you. Here's a perfectly balanced game. Can you just upload it to your servers and yeah, call it patch 1.3 or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, if they would do that, I mean.
Hey, stranger things have happened. If you don't ask, you don't receive. So, I'm sure at the end of the day, there's someone who works for Skybox whose job is like to manage Rise of Nations. It's like in his portfolio, that's his job description. It's just finding out who that guy is and like convincing him. And yeah, why not? Why not? Stranger things have happened.
One of the things we can present to them, we could say, with the advent of COVID, Ron has experienced a little bit of a comeback here. It'd be nice to capitalise on that.
Yeah, exactly. People need their entertainment, and we want to have entertaining, balanced tournament games. And yeah, the patch could be part of that. So,
but Phantom has contacted them. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think Phantom, he has their phone number too. He did a great service to the community when their servers were down and we couldn't play any Ron. So he called them up and he was on hold for 4 hours waiting for them to.
That's brilliant.
And, yeah, you should like knock on their door, like, hello? Who's that? Oh, I'm from the internet. I'm here to rescue the Ron server.
I emailed Big Huge Games many years ago, back in about, 2005 or 6. I emailed them.
And did they reply to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone stole my account. They hacked my account and stole it. I still couldn't get it back, but.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I can see. Oh, sorry, you go.
No, it was my GameSpy account with like 2,000 games, and all my friends, and they stole my identity and changed the password on me, and that was it. I had to create a new account.
Oh no, geez, that would have been pretty valuable back in the day too. Roachy account on GameSpy. Did they sell it on the black market?
No, he renamed himself to Corvette, and that was it.
Corvette.
He played a few games, abused a few people, then it's what he used to do apparently. He was sort of a bit of a hacker, oh my goodness.
Oh jeez, I wish I was there to witness that. It sounds amazing. But anyway, no, it's surprising that when you go back and watch games that were played at GameSpy, it's not that much different, but the graphics are actually noticeably worse than extended edition. So. Yeah, your eyes kind of do take a bit of adjusting, but I'm sure once you get used to it again, play a few games, it's it's the good old glory days of GameSpy. And we got a bit more discussion in the chat. Let's rehash this.
I'm reading continuously.
Yeah, so Arash brings up a good point. He said first people should sit down and see if the changes done in the community balance patch are necessary. And and then, people are free to do their own testing in high-level games. That would be great. ProLays says, I agree with Arash, so there you have it. The great man himself has spoken. Yeah, it's definitely contentious. That's the tricky thing about community patches. I'm trying to think, what was the last game that I used to play which had a community patch? It was a long time ago. But yeah, it's always tricky because you have people that have differences of opinion. I know Dave used to, or maybe still does, play a lot of Heroes of Might and Magic. I personally haven't played it, but I know that that's a scene where there's different versions of the same game, and some people like one version, some people like the other. And I think the biggest thing that amongst this is, there's got to be a consensus across the majority of players, or otherwise it doesn't work. So it's tricky to do that because not everyone's going to have the same opinion, but that's where simplicity comes into play. And consensus is really, really important. And there's nothing to lose. The worst thing that happens is you just keep the patch simple, or we get some disagreement and, just keep it for certain situations, like 1v1 standard, for example, and just maybe nerf ruins in 1v1 standard or in team game standard. That would be a great patch, and it wouldn't affect the game too much. So we'll wait and see where that goes. But yeah, definitely everyone will have an opinion on that, on the issue of a patch, whether we need a patch or not. And if we do need a patch, what is going to be patched? So let's just not boo-hoo anything until you see what it's like, because the patch could be amazing, and there's no reason to fear a patch when you don't know what it's going to be like yet. So let's just wait and see. But yeah, either way, I'm completely happy with the game the way it is at the moment. So yeah, it's not perfect, but we've got a good baseline to work from. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't want to generate any more controversy about it at the moment. So anything else in the chat, guys, that you wanted to bring up, or Roachy, that you wanted to share with the 33 people that are watching right now?
Wow, 33. Yeah, I just tend to think spies are a counter to Ellies, and I agree, Ellies are overpowered, but spies, trouble is you're almost in gunpowder before you get spies, and they get pretty damn expensive, and they're pretty easy to kill, you know.
That is true.
They're not a hard counter against Ellies. You know, you can maybe bribe a few of them.
Yeah,
normally my Ellies get bribed. I remember playing a game years ago where so many of my Ellies got bribed, and then that guy who I was playing against, he went off and was attacking someone else, and one of my teammates was complaining that he was getting attacked by my bribed elephants. You know, that's an ultimate insult to be thrown against you. Teammate complaining he's been attacked with my elephants.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I mean, like, we've seen Indians perform really well in these games, but we've seen plenty of games where Indians don't perform well. And I've never felt like in Nomad games, oh, this guy's Indians, he's just going to crush his opponents. Maybe in Nomad they're not quite as strong because Nomad is such a slow burn. It's more strategy, it's more teamwork, and Indians don't really power up until later ages. But yeah, I never really feel like Indians or Persians are just this incredible nation which has this unit that you build and you just win the game. You have to be very skillful to use them. I think my view is that, yeah, you could tweak them a little bit, but I wouldn't change them too much. Maybe reduce their damage or health or something like that down by like 10%, maybe. But anyway, yeah, there'll be plenty of different opinions about that. And so that makes it really difficult because, yeah, we have such a good game at the moment. How can we make it better without making it worse?
Well, the overriding theme here in the side chat or earlier was the fact that, what's the word, that the game is broken. What was the wording? HNZ88? The unit masks bug.
The masks are broken.
The unit masks are broken, and that's the killer thing. So in fact, it's not quite the original game which they had designed to be.
Yeah, no, that's true. And the irony, but the irony of it, yeah, hey Jatin, the irony of it though is that, I mean, even though that it's a bug and they didn't get this unit mask thing working, it's like, that's the game as we know it. And we've all played Rise of Nations Extended Edition and we've balanced the game around what we know the game to be. So it's almost like they probably unintentionally caused Ellies to be more OP than they should be, and they unintentionally nerfed horse archers. But it's kind of like, okay, everyone just adapted, and that's the new normal. So yeah, who knows? Maybe we should definitely play around with it and just see how it goes. Because I mean, I think even just a simple tweak like reducing ruins maybe and bringing those unit masks back to the way it was intended to be, and just leave it at that. That could be a simple tweak. Well,
where are these unhappy players? You've got a point, Kron. I totally buy what you're saying. Essentially, we all play this game and we like it in a sense, with its many faults, which is what your argument. There is a certain amount of argument with that. However, having said that, I still think some minor tweaks. I'd be happier if there were minor tweaks.
There you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Roachy would be happy with some tweaks. So
minor tweaks.
Minor tweaks. Just like make Russian cavalry go like twice as fast.
No. Anything you do in these games, because they're so close to balanced anyway, anything you do in these games has to be very small.
Yeah, that's true.
Which comes back to the unit mask being broken. Yeah, look, I don't know.
I like Jatin's username on YouTube, on his personal username. He's got capital JATIN to make sure that you don't mispronounce Jatin. It's Jatin, guys. So That's your reminder right there. And Jatton says, take away Prolase's internet so he doesn't make comments about Ron being balanced already. Too true. Where's the angry mob? take away his computer, lock it up. No one's allowed to have different opinions here. You must comply. And Prolase has responded with saying players are unhappy is just something you are coming up with. Where are these unhappy players? Roachy, that's where you meant to say I am one of those unhappy players.
Oh,
I was waiting for you.
Sorry, I thought there was plenty of unhappy players.
Oh, okay. I'm sure there are. No, I don't think unhappy would be the right word, but there's players that think it can be tweaked. I'm sure. So,
Dave has said it all there. The elephant imbalance is literally a bug in the game. So you want to complain about fixing a bug. So it's essentially the elephants are OP due to the unit mask being broken, which is a bug in the game. So the argument is we should fix the bug.
HNZ says, and Ron is such a fine piece of toast that we're willing to eat it when it's a bit moldy.
Yeah. It's
not bad. I like that metaphor. Definitely keen for some moldy Ron. I will never turn Ron down. Ellie's not minor tweak though. It's just two nations being lost. Whoa, it's a strong words there by Arash, but yeah, it's a fair point. It's only two nations out of the entire game. The whole project. Oh, okay. This is just going down a rabbit hole. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, feel free to read the chat after the fact, guys. I think there'll definitely be some strong opinions.
Oh, there's a battle for third place. I'd forgotten about that.
Oh,
I said the grand final to come. Well, there's the bronze medal to come as well.
That's true. The famous bronze medal match. And that'll be the only game where there's literally you walk away with either money or you walk away with nothing, because I'm assuming that the prize pool, some of that will go to third place. And fourth place doesn't get a single banana. You don't even get thrown an apple. Not even a pear. You walk away with nothing. So that third place, fourth place match, definitely keep an eye out for that. I'm sure SPQR will want to go out with some glory. So we'll have to wait and see when that game will be played. And Jatton says they won't be drunk the next time they play. So...
Oh, yeah, come on. I can't believe anyone would be drunk in a competition game.
I mean, drink driving is a bad idea. Drink running is even worse. I mean, some players play better when they're under the influence of certain substances, but I feel like alcohol is probably not one of them. So, yeah, come on. That's a really rookie mistake right there, Jatton. So, that might have been... That explains everything. They lost because Jatton got absolutely slammed. He's doing shots before the game.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now. So thank you for clearing that up. I'm sure it had nothing to do with the great play of Dave, Pooh, and Lube. And even Dante. He was part of the team, and it's a team effort. So poor Dante kind of got shafted to the bench after the first game, but I suspect he'll be back in the grand finals as well.
Well, again, that was coincidentally against Indian, which is my comment. Indian won both their games. Indian players won both their games.
That is true. But I think we can probably pull out games from Nomadium where Indians have been crushed. So
yeah, I wonder if they're a bit stronger in Standard, because obviously in Standard you get the gunpowder. The game-deciding battles are often fought in gunpowder, and perhaps Enlightenment, and that's where Ellie's shine, obviously in gunpowder Enlightenment. Whereas in Nomad, your game-deciding games are generally fought in medieval or perhaps even classical. It's fought a game or two, an age or two earlier, obviously Nomad, which I think is part of the reason why Standard players have trouble adapting.
Yep, that's a good point. I think Indians are relatively weak, or much weaker in Age 3 for sure. So, yeah, you heard it right here. Roachy has just basically declared that Nomad is the better version of the game. Is that true? Can you confirm?
Well, I think for having played Standard for 15 years, I think Nomad is a richer game. I think there's a lot more depth to it, and because the pop limit constraints are just murderous in Nomad, right? In Standard, you very rarely hit pop limit, so Nomad is a much richer game in order to get around that. And wonders are not often built in standard, whereas in Nomad, wonders are built a lot more. So that's another aspect of richness you have in the game in Nomad.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So maybe I'm trying to think what the comparison would be to sports here. So I'm almost thinking like standard might be kind of like playing a game of tennis where you've got to be really quick, you've got to be skillful, you've got to be able to, move really quickly with your actions per minute, but you still need to have some strategy there as well, for sure. Whereas Nomad is kind of like playing speed chess, maybe. Like you got a lot more time to think through your moves. You still have to be constantly moving around, but the game plays at such a slower pace that team play comes into it, and also the cities are so dynamic that it's a lot deeper from a team play and strategy point of view. Like we didn't see too much kind of team moves so far in this tournament. Well, nothing too extreme. Like it's just harder to do in standard. We can see in the chat, Jatin has emailed Skybox 5 times. Oh, sorry, he didn't email them 5 times.
Whereabouts is Skybox Labs in Canada? MK. Where are the labs, out of interest?
Someone needs to march down that road, knock on the door, tell Skybox we need to get a riot going. Follow the. Don't follow what Donald Trump did, but what he did. What he did. Ignore everything he said. But the idea of marching on Skybox's headquarters and demanding.
That's what we did in BC, British Columbia, right?
But then again, I think ProLays is saying that we don't need to do that. Let's leave them alone.
They're in Vancouver. There's a West Coast, which makes sense. A lot of the IT is West Coast. In the US.
ProLays is like Joe Biden right now. Just there's nothing to see. Don't worry about it, guys. It's just everything's fine. Leave it as it is. So, all right. A US capital on Skybox Labs it is. Jatin is going to be the ringleader. Make sure you follow Jatin. He will be broadcasting live when he is in... did someone say where it was? Was it Vancouver?
BC, British Columbia. So that's Vancouver to my way of thinking.
Yeah, definitely is.
Vancouver or nearby.
Oh, here we go. Skybox Labs is an independent video game developer located in Burnaby, British Columbia in Canada, which is basically a suburb almost of Vancouver, or it's like a city just over from Vancouver. So
cool. We'll
have to get Duzzles to riot on our behalf. Do we know any other Canadians?
Yeah, well, Hockey Star.
Oh yeah,
Hockey Star's Canadian, but he's on the wrong side.
He's Toronto though, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could be difficult. I mean, I heard Toronto and Vancouver pretty close. You just walk down the road. I'm sure we can get him to knock on the door for us. Otherwise, Duzzles maybe. I don't know where Duzzles lives. Hopefully on the right side of Canada, not on the wrong side for the purposes. We've got Mentalist asking, who was the trademark Kron MVP of the series? Oh, the MVP award of this series. I'm going to have to think about this one for 1 second. The MVP of this series, without a shadow of a doubt, was the one, the only, Dave. It was Dave. Come on, it's got to be Dave, right? Dave is MVP. He played extremely well over the entire series. I feel like you've got to give MVP to Dave here. What do you think, Roachy? Do you have a different opinion?
No, Dave's the obvious choice. I'm thinking. I mean, Lube just did very well, and the game of the century he did very well, and in the third game, and in this last game, obviously Avinka, once he got going, was dominating, pinging horse madly, trying to get everyone on horse.
Yeah, no, I think they all played exceptionally well.
But Boo was very there. I mean, Boo was there all the time. I mean, swinging from one side of the map to the other. As I say, it's a tough team to come up against. You come up against that in out of the lobby, and you'd be thinking, this is going to be hard to win.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Well, I always think like your MVP is like your player who just dominates. It's your Cristiano Ronaldo or your Donald Bradman for anyone who's an Australian cricket fan. No one? Okay, never mind. Your Harry Kewell for Turkish soccer. It's your player who just dominates. I think Lubin Boo did really well. I think Boo is knocking on the door for MVP, especially in the last game. He really dominated. But over the entire series, I think you've got to give the nod to Dave. He really clutched a couple of those games, especially in that epic third game where he dominated with Indians. So, Jatton's asking if I'm up for some Cricket 19. Jeez, I've never been propositioned for some Cricket 19 on a live stream before, but I've got to say, why not? I'll be up for that. Let's play some Cricket 19 for sure. So, have you ever played Cricket 19 before, Roachy?
Nah.
You were telling me you're a cricket tragic and you haven't played Cricket 19?
No, I haven't. I haven't played any sports games online.
Yeah, no, it's I've literally only played it like 3 or 4 times max, and each time it was on stream just to play with Jatton, just stuffing around trying to hit it for 6 every ball. But it is fun. But anyway, I might play a quick game a bit later on. But you're an hour ahead, so it's getting late in Sydney, right?
Yeah, 12:30, midnight.
Are you getting looks from your significant other that you've got to wrap this up?
No, she's not here. That's why I'm on. That's why I'm on it.
I was going to say, has she got you on a leash?
I've got a free pass.
I'm very, very lucky. I'm sure you had to do like a lot of housework earlier today and try and keep her happy, or
No.
Okay.
No.
Fair enough. No, you're definitely.
No, she's not here. She's not here tonight.
Oh, she's literally not there. Okay, fair enough. I thought you meant she
here.
just wasn't in the room. Okay.
No, she's not in the house.
Oh, okay. Well,
I made a horrible mistake today talking about that. I said, "Oh, I'm broadcasting a game. This is da 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 da." And she said, "Oh, I'll have to listen to it." I went, "Oh no." Never. It's a big mistake. I should have never said I've broadcasted anything on the internet. She might be able to find this.
So if your missus is listening right now, do you want to say something to her?
Oh, no.
Come on, now's your moment. You're going to profess your love, or I'm giving you your chance. This is in internet history. Come on, Roachy, don't fail. This is your one moment. You can't fail here.
Well, this is my future career. I'm thinking of becoming a what can I say? What did I say? An influencer. A social influencer in the wrong community. So I'm going to earn a living. This is my future career.
Okay.
So, an esports commentator. Thank you. Yes, exactly. This is going to be my future career. That's what I'm thinking of transitioning.
All great esports commentating careers start somewhere, and yours is starting here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, just that's what I want to say. Just if she listens to this and has got some criticisms, just don't be too critical, because this could be the future. This could be big.
Okay, so you've made your career aspirations known. Is there anything else you want to say to your missus right now?
No, that's it. Well,
what? Nothing else.
I'm always promising the money will flow. Don't worry, the money will be there. Don't worry. So this is just another promise.
And look, any anniversaries coming up, or no sweet messages you want to leave? Or you're just going to leave it up?
Valentine's Day will be coming soon. Well, let me talk about it. Look. My wife won a car, a brand new Mazda 3. I guess that's pretty universally known. Just a little runabout, right? A Mazda 3.
Okay, yeah. I know
won
the
a
Mazda
car
3. Very nice car.
She won a car.
Yep.
She won a car in a competition. So I took her out for a test drive at Mazda, and she put her hand into a box and pulled it out, and she won a certificate for a Mazda 3.
Holy.
Yeah, but what she didn't know at the time, that I'd been up to the dealership earlier, took up a box in there filled with competitions with notes with her name on it, just printed out 100 of them, folded them all up. So when she put it to the box, it was all rigged. I'd already bought the car, so she put her hand in the box and pulled out the winning the winning certificate. So she won a car, but it was rigged. It took her a little while to figure that out, that she won a car. But
Oh wow! And when did she find out, and what was her reaction when she did?
a disbelief. And then she had a problem because then she had 2 cars at work.
Oh no! Oh,
Because it was at lunchtime. That's right. I got her out for a test drive at lunchtime from work, so then she had to drive back to work in a new car, and I drove her other car back to work. So it was complicated. Anyway, she ended up with 2 cars. But anyway, we had to.
Oh my god! So do you play a lot of tricks on her all the time, or is that just a once off?
No, I suppose a little bit. Yeah. So you gotta have a.
What's
Yeah, so that maybe that's what I'm trying to say here. So just this social, this new what do you call it, online esports commentator, this whole thing could take off.
it definitely could. And like, do you have any? I know this is going off topic a bit, but do you have any relationship advice for any young budding Ronners out there that are looking to balance their personal lives with their Ron life?
Oh, find someone you like and marry them. That'd be my advice. That'd be my advice.
I must admit, it's worked for me so far, so I would have to second that. I'm looking at you, Jatin. No rush. Take things nice and steady, but...
That's the worst advice. Yeah, my wife is very forgiving. She puts up with an awful lot, I can tell you. Yeah.
That is true. Do you pay homage to the old faithful advice of wife is always right?
No, definitely not.
What about happy wife, happy life?
Well, to an extent, I suppose.
Okay. So, 1 out of 2. 1 out of 2. All right.
Yeah, 1 out of 2. Yeah, that ain't bad.
Wow. Well, here we go. Arash is saying, Roachy, can you please tell me how to find my future wife?
Well, your friends' mates are a good source. Go to their younger sisters of friends' mates.
That is true. Younger sisters, prime targets. Don't do it in a creepy way, though. Be respectful. Yeah. Just happen to be in the right place at the right time. Don't go knocking on your friend's door and then saying, "Hey, is your sister home?" That's creepy, man. So, but yeah, very good advice there, Roachy. Yeah.
One of my mates from more younger, he actually accidentally asked out. Well, we're in our 20s. He accidentally asked out my 13-year-old sister.
What?
Accidentally on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I've got a few sisters, and he asked out the wrong one. He asked out the 13-year-old. To be fair, the 13-year-old's quite cheeky and was pretending to be the older one, but I've never let him forget it. He was like 21 asking out a 13-year-old. I thought that was a bit much.
Wow. Well, yeah, that is a little bit creepy, but at the same time, also quite hilarious. So, well done to your...
Yeah, he's still embarrassed. So, this isn't going to be recorded and stored for all posterity on the internet, is it, this conversation?
There is a permanent record right now. In fact, there are people around the internet recording this right now and archiving it onto the Internet Wayback site so that it'll sit there amongst the archives with, Donald Trump's tweets. It'll be on the box over. It'll be Roachy's Roachy's relationship advice. And Roachy, if you had to look back, I know we're taking this in a turn away, but if you had to compare Rise of Nations to your career so far, what do you think are the biggest tips you can take from Rise of Nations and apply to your real life?
Don't play Rise of Nations too much because it takes up too much time of your real life. No, I think it's like anything. It's balance, isn't it? You got to get a balance. I mean, this is quite relaxing to play Rise of Nations, and
yeah.
I think if you start swearing at people online, generally that's about the time to perhaps have a little break at that stage, And I've done that a few times, and so generally that's not the right thing to do.
That is true. Yep, I've definitely been there before. I don't swear like an awful amount outside of gaming, but yeah, give me a game of FIFA, give me a game of poker, give me a game of Cricket 19, and yeah, I sometimes find myself thinking, wow, did I just say you F F F F F C C C, like just non-stop. So yeah, definitely try and stay calm, guys. That's the biggest takeout I'm getting here from Roachy. Walk away, take a break. It's a fantastic game, but as soon as you get too involved and start raging, that's when you know you've gone too far. So,
Yeah.
and any final pointers for Arash here? If he doesn't have any luck with his friend's sisters, where does he go next?
Well, family as well. Family will often set you up with nice girls, so that's the obvious ones. Family and friends, you know. Extended network. You
Yeah.
just have to extend your network out from there, I suppose.
Yeah, very true. Boo has said in the comments, he asked me about poker, Texas Hold'em or 5 card. Come on, Boo. I'm not a noob, man. Texas Hold'em, of course. No one plays 5 card unless it's, you know, one of those movies where they don't know what they're doing. No one actually deals out 5 cards and says, oh, hey, we're going to play poker. Let's see what hand we got. Oh, I got a shit hand and you got a good hand. I'm going to bluff you. It's got to be Texas Hold'em, man. Anyway, I digress. Any other final topics that people want to hear from Roachy about before we wrap this up? Speak now or forever, and I mean forever, until Roachy's next cast. Hold your peace.
I think I'd just like to say I enjoyed the cast. You know, I love your commentary, Kron. Thank you for all your work, and I love your enthusiasm and chatting. And I think you've added so much to the game, and I love your commentary. And yeah, and I think the competitions as well. You know, I like the competitions, and I get busy sometimes. I can't play, so and I ban myself at other times. But yeah, I've got a bit of time now, so it's good.
Yeah, no, I definitely echo your thoughts there, Roachy, and it's been great having you on. I'll let you read the chat, and it's entirely up to you whether you want to answer any further questions or not.
I'm old. I'm an old man, and my APM is declining. I reckon I've got the APM of a one-armed 80-year-old man. Honestly, and my business, I work in the mining business, as does half of Australia. So I work in mining.
There you have it. So Roachy is it fair to say you're younger than 80 and you're older than 30? So
Yeah, definitely.
pick whatever age you want. But yeah, that's intensely personal to ask. You never ask a woman their age, right? And
Well, one of my wife's friends, this young Asian girl, my wife's Asian, and one of my wife's friends told her, she's younger, told her that she thinks I'm a dirty old man. And my wife told me this, and I said to my wife, I said, I am so insulted that she called me old. And my wife said, what about dirty? And I went, yeah, fair enough. So I got this thing about being called old, you know.
Yeah, no, just if you get some
dirty, I don't mind, but old, not too keen on.
Well, it's like I've traveled to the Philippines before. In the Philippines, like all the older generation there, they dye all their hair black. So you meet someone and you're like, because you can't see any grey hairs, you meet them and you're like, oh, he could be like 40, 45. And then you'll take a closer look and like the wrinkles are really starting to show, and it's just hair dye, man. That's the magic ingredient. If you want to keep your youth, you got to follow their advice. Just dye your hair black.
Yeah, well, I've got blonde hair.
Oh,
so it's going salty as I get older. It's going salty.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I'm starting to get a few greys on the side, but I've got a few years to go. But that'll be me soon enough. So that is one of the beauties of life. I don't think anyone can escape it. Apparently, I don't know if you can confirm or deny that, Roachy, but Roachy.
No, you can't tell from there. You look very youthful.
That is true. I am both.
All you young people out there, I wish I was 20 years younger. I wish I was young again.
There you go. Any advice for people in their youth? What should they do that you didn't do when you were in your youth, Roachy?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Did you work too hard?
To an extent, I suppose.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting question.
Is there anything that what's the one thing that if you could go back and do something differently?
There'd be many things.
Many things. If you had to pick one thing.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think
I feel like you're trying to cover your tracks here. You're like, do I say it or not?
I'm just gonna. That's exactly right.
Yeah. No. In that case, let's protect your privacy because
Probably either 17 or 47. Literally no clue. I'm a little bit the same. A little bit the same, Kron. You look young.
I'll pay that. I get some people that say, or maybe not recently, but maybe 3 or 4 years ago, they'd be like, "Are you 18?" And then I've never had someone say I'm 40. So I must admit, but I've never had someone say I'm 47. No, that's impressive. Maybe having a baby has aged me a bit in the last couple of years, having a young child. But no, I think youthful exuberance and not having any sunlight definitely does wonders. that's my that's my anti-aging secret. I wouldn't recommend it because you'll be like a ghost like I am. But yeah, if you're trying to delay the effects of aging, that's the only thing I can point to. Or it's just random genetics too. Maybe the inability to grow a beard. I think that might be half of it. Do I moisturize? Wow, this is really going down a deep rabbit hole here. The answer to that is I do before I go to work, but I'm not going to work at the moment, so maybe moisturizing helps. There you have it. Moisturize, guys. If you want to avoid the effects of aging, that might be your one takeaway from this Rise of Nations cast, which is meant to be about Rise of Nations and not about whether you should moisturize or not. Do you have any final closing comments before we wrap this up?
Otherwise, think you guys must have good microphones as well, because this microphone here is my mic's a bit tinny. You know, I've had a bad run with headsets, and I'm on my third headset. And have you got a microphone? Have you got a proper mic there, or what?
Yeah, I've got a mic. So mine's it's a Blue. It's called a Snowball Ice. Blue Snowball Ice. Cost me about $60 maybe, Australian dollars.
Can you show it? Can you show it on the camera? Let's have a look at it.
Yeah, sure. Hopefully I don't unplug my mic, but hang on. So that's what it looks like. And it basically just sits on my desk beside my screen,
okay, cool.
And yeah, as long as the voice quality is good.
So, but you've got earbuds in, right?
Yeah, I've got earbuds. So I use these for the audio and just leave that on the desk, and that way you don't have to worry about having the headset on all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Looks like one of those doorbell droids. Yeah, it's done the job for me. I'll see if I can find a link to it. It's called a Blue Snowball Ice. I think ProLaser's mic is the one to get though.
Yeah, I've seen ProLaser's mic, big mic.
Yeah, that's the one that you if you want to invest in the best stuff, you should probably look into what he's got. But yeah, this is like a bit of a Molotov cocktail. Actually, it's pretty cool because you can take off the stand and it's literally just a ball, like a sphere. Hang on, I'll try and undo the stand for a moment. It does look a bit like a grenade, so yeah, if it didn't have the wire coming out the back, you can say fire in the hole. And anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that, but check out, this is not a paid endorsement, but you can buy your Blue Snowball Ice if you want sound quality like Kron.
Alright, I better get going. I've got to work tomorrow. I've got to do something. No, it's still okay.
Okay now? Oh yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
My mic actually cut out. So yep, no worries, Roachy. We better wrap this up. But yeah, thanks heaps, guys, for tuning in. And yeah, I did unplug that. It's been a great getting back to the game quickly. Great series between EL and SPQR. Good luck to EL in the grand finals, and commiserations to SPQR. But excellent series. Look forward to seeing how you guys go, getting some redemption perhaps in the third place game. Thanks again, Roachy, for coming on and staying up late in Sydney. It's nearly 1 a.m. there, so really appreciate it. And no doubt this is not the last we've heard of you, so I'm sure we'll have you back at some point, whether it's in this tournament or maybe in Nomadium.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun.
Awesome. All right, peace out, guys. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you all soon. We'll start a podcast as well, so stay tuned. Peace.